We are the damaged ones, the broken ones. Life has placed a scar on us, an imperfection that makes us feel shame, that we hide so that we're not unloved. For some of us, our scar, our brokenness, is a part of our body. For others, it's a part of our soul, a way somebody made us feel about ourselves that we believe, or a memory of something terrible. Our damaged parts make us feel unworthy. They make us feel less than. They make us feel undeserving. Today, that changes. Today, your scar, your broken part, becomes your superpower. My name is Daniel Press. I've learned a lot in my journey through life. My videos are lessons to my younger self, lessons that would have made life easier. This is one of those lessons. I had a girlfriend that had a jagged scar from her cheek that ran all the way down her body like a bolt of lightning. When she was 3, her mother was boiling grease before cooking and stepped away. She pulled the pot over to see what was inside. From that day, when her skin became swollen and blistered and deformed, when it became different than theirs, instead of giving her gentleness and comfort and love, her family began calling her by the nickname Ugly. They treated her like an outcast. They made fun of her. They ostracized her. Not because there was anything wrong with her, but because making her feel small made them feel big. But she didn't know that. When they ate, they gave the good pieces of food to her brothers and sisters first, and then she could eat. On holidays and birthdays, when everyone else was excited to get presents, she was never given a single one. Not by her family, not by her relatives, not by anybody. At first, she was heartbroken, but through the years, she learned to feel excited for the presents her brothers and sisters would receive, and that became her happiness. In school, on those excruciating days when they worked on projects in groups, she would go to the corner and work by herself because nobody wanted her in their group, and the teacher permitted this. It was understood. Those were not the horrific parts. The horrific part is that she became used to this. She accepted this. She didn't feel sad working alone while everyone was in groups because she believed what she was told, that she had a defect that made her of less value than everybody else. There are levels in life, she was told, and she was on the lowest level, so she believed it. But then, something happened. She grew up to be physically beautiful. Men desired her. Nobody saw her scars. They saw her beauty. But when she looked in the mirror, there were only scars. She had so many options, but she would be in relationships where she was abused, because deep inside, she knew she was unworthy of someone kind. She knew she was unworthy of being treated special, as she had been taught. She was comfortable in those painful relationships, because that's what she knew. Like a baby elephant in a circus, tied by a thick chain to a post. It pulls and it pulls until it learns it cannot break free. And then the rest of its life, it can be tied with a shoelace, and it will not try to break free. It learned who it is. When I was a kid, I came home from school during a storm, and a stray, emaciated dog was shivering beneath an overhang at my neighbor's house. Each time there was thunder, it jumped. I went over to comfort it, to sit with it in the storm, but it growled and barked at me, and it wouldn't let me near. So I went inside and I brought it some cheese and a bowl of milk as a peace offering. And when I gave it to the dog, instead of biting the cheese, it bit my hand hard. It had learned that people only approach it to hurt it. It didn't know a person could give it love and give it care. It didn't know it was worthy of being loved like every other dog is. It was taught that it was different, and it believed. And that was how my relationship began with that girlfriend, with just tiny increments of trust being developed. I love scars. I love the stories they tell of the journeys their owners have been on. I love the strength scars represent. They are the places our bodies responded to an outside force that tried to destroy us by becoming stronger than before. They are the places our souls keep getting back up from defeat to charge right back into the battle again. I used to love tracing the path that the boiling oil and fire took along the length of my girlfriend's body. At first, she would be angry and protective, believing I was making fun of her like everybody else in her life. And then she would get shy and embarrassed about revealing her brokenness, being vulnerable with the very thing she had hidden in shame all the years of her life. And then eventually, she saw in my eyes that her scars were the most beautiful part of her. Her scars were her courage, her inner strength, her toughness, her kindness, her caring. They showed all the fear and the pain and the shame and the humiliation she fought her way through from the time she was a wounded little girl with no way to protect herself when her world suddenly turned against her. When that boiling water and fire set out to devour her skin, rather than surrendering, her skin said, "Not today." It refused to die. And then it caught its breath, and it rebuilt itself even stronger than before. Even stronger than all the places on her body that had never been touched by fire. And she learned that her scars were the visual manifestation of all her most beautiful inner qualities. Qualities that are usually invisible. Qualities that only the right kind of people who should be in her life can see. And then one day, she came to realize that her family and that teacher and her schoolmates weren't treating her like she was of little value because she was less than them, or because she was not good enough, or because there was something wrong with her. They treated her that way because they were despicable and no other reason. They each had their own broken parts like everybody does, and focusing everyone's attention on hers permitted them to continue hiding their own. She learned she is not unworthy, and she never was unworthy. She learned to love her scars. Those scars helped create the special qualities that her rough path through life developed within her. She would look in the mirror and rarely see her scars at all anymore, just like the way everyone else saw her, and she finally had peace. You are not broken. No matter what happens in your life, you are whole. And if you reveal your scar and anybody makes you feel less than, it only means that they are less than. Your scars are a precious filter that let you know who to let into your life and who to keep out. But you have a great responsibility to your scar. Your responsibility is to identify every positive, every special, every unique quality about yourself that your scar reveals, that you developed on your journey together. Maybe it's kindness and accepting people that others are cruel to. Maybe it's inner toughness. Maybe It's the confidence that you can walk through a gauntlet that nobody would choose to enter, and knowing that you have proven to yourself that you have the strength to keep moving forward. Because as long as you are here right now, you are moving forward. Your responsibility, after you identify your special qualities, is to write them down, or they will disappear from your mind and be valueless to you. Write them down someplace where you can review them throughout the rest of your life, so you never forget who you are. And so when somebody tells you that you are less than ever again, you have the proof to show yourself that not only are they wrong, but that they are not allowed in your life. Starting now, look at your scar on your body or in your soul as a badge of courage, as a place you were damaged badly by life, but you kept coming back stronger. Never feel ashamed of a hardship you've been given. Be proud that you made it to right here, right now, despite every obstacle in your path. Be proud of all you've overcome. I love my scars. They remind me of adventures I've had, even if unchosen. They remind me of times I was brave and faced pain and faced fear and overcame. They remind me of times I was defeated but stood up again anyway. Love your scars. They reveal to the world, but most importantly, they reveal to you all the most beautiful qualities that make you, you. Your scars are not your weakest part. They are your strongest. My name is Daniel Press. We'll talk again.